Stop wasting your money on evolutions that will lose you games. 99% players regret making this exact same mistake. Only spend money on evolutions that are reliable and consistent in every meta. But currently, there are only 10 such pay-to-win evolutions in Clash Royale.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
At number 10, we have the Inferno Dragon Evolution. The evolved Inferno Dragon has been extremely consistent in the meta ever since it was released. It's an extremely dangerous card for 2 reasons. First of all, it can easily melt any tank in a matter of seconds. This gives you a serious advantage against beatdown decks like Golem, Giant, or Lava Hound. Secondly, because it keeps its beam charged after destroying a troop, this makes it really difficult for the opponent to place cards. Even a small mistake can lead to the Inferno Dragon destroying the whole push right away. I mean, if you somehow get a charged up Inferno Dragon on the tower for even 1 or 2 seconds, that's basically the tower gone. The evolved Inferno Dragon is quite versatile too. It's used with Lava Hound, Electro Giant, Graveyard Freeze, and even in some Mega Knight decks. That opens up a lot of deck options for you if you choose to unlock the Inferno Dragon Evolution. Also, if you're currently not at the very top level in the game, countering the evolved Inferno Dragon won't be easy for your opponent. A lot of players tend to run heavy cards in lower and mid-trophy ranges. The Inferno Dragon is a massive counter to those cards, even if it's underleveled. Therefore, this makes it one of the best evolutions for casuals to buy. Next up at number 9, we have the evolved Royal Giant. This is probably the most balanced evolution in Clash Royale, which is a really good thing. If you choose to unlock this, you can be rest assured that this card won't be getting a nerf anytime soon. This makes investing your resources in Royal Giant Evolution a really good choice. He's always viable in the meta, even if it's slightly. Although you may require some skill to master this archetype, winning becomes a habit once you start to outplay your opponent with a Royal Giant. The evolved Royal Giant is especially great against decks with a lot of swarms. You see, every time he hits, he deals damage to troops close to him and pushes them away. Therefore, swarms can't counter him because they get wiped out instantly as soon as he starts attacking. The Royal Giant has a great 54% win rate in Clash Royale at the moment, and I don't think it's going to drop anytime soon. The card is consistently good, which makes it a reliable investment of your time and money. If you have the Royal Giant Evolution unlocked, then make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. At number 8, we have the Wall Breakers Evolution. For just 2 elixir, the value these 2 dudes provide is insane. I mean, your opponent can literally try to counter them with all the elixir they had, and somehow they will still find a way to connect to their tower. Defending against the evolved wall breakers is really tough because of their dual stages. Basically, whatever troop you use to defend will have to take the death damage from them. This makes swarms completely useless against them. Mini tanks are mostly very slow to take them down. That doesn't leave too many good options to counter them. And because they cost only 2 elixir, it makes it impossible to counter them for a positive or equal elixir trade ever. But did you know that you can even use them on defense? Imagine you have a big push coming your way. You can literally drop the Wall Breakers Evolution on top of it, and their death damage will wipe out the entire push. That's insane! Wall Breakers are one of the most versatile cards in the game. They are used with Miner, Goblin Drill, Mega Knight, Bridge Spam, and even some Royal Recruits decks. They are incredibly useful in forcing your opponent into bad elixir trades every time, and eventually overwhelming them. They're quite balanced as well, so a nerf seems unlikely in the future. So if you play cycle decks, then this is probably one of the best evolutions you can buy. At number 7, we have the Musketeer Evolution. Musketeer was, is, and will continue to be the most reliable ranged card in Clash Royale. It shoots fast, deals great damage from a distance, and has enough HP to survive a fireball. Just like the Royal Giant Evolution, the evolved Musketeer 2 is extremely balanced. The thing I love the most about the Musketeer Evolution is the number of smart plays you can pull off with it. You can literally snipe cards from your side of the arena and destroy them instantly. This allows your win condition, like the balloon, to pass freely and get damage on the opponent's tower. You can even destroy buildings right away so that your troops don't get pulled by it. Imagine your opponent is countering your Hog Rider every time with a cannon. Now, you can use the evolved Musketeer to snipe the cannon from far away without wasting a spell. This allows your Hog Rider free passage to the tower, all because of the evolved Musketeer. It's no wonder that she's used in some of the highest skill decks in Clash Royale like Minor Balloon and Hog Cycle. The Musketeer Evolution currently has a 5% use rate with a 53% win rate. Those are really good numbers for a support card. The Musketeer is already a great defensive card, but her evolution makes her a threat on offense too, so if you want to buy the Musketeer Evolution, you can do so without even thinking much. At number 6, we have the Zap Evolution. The evolved Zap is one of the most useful spells in the game because of its ability to constantly stun a card. Not once, but twice! This makes it a great spell to use with beatdown decks. A lot of heavy decks like Giant, P.E.K.K.A, Lavaloon, and even some bridge spam decks rely on the Zap more than any other small spell. The reason for that is because the evolved Zap is instant, while other small spells take a while to hit the troops. This makes the Zap Evolution a very heavy counter to swarms like Skeleton Army, Goblin Gang, Minions, etc. The most underrated thing about the evolved Zap is that it's so useful in extracting positive elixir trades out of the opponent. Like, there are so many cards that are countered by it, even though they cost more. Princess, Dart Goblin, Firecracker, some of the most annoying ranged cards are no match for the evolved Zap. It literally has a 5% use rate with a 53% win rate, making it one of the most useful spells. If you're getting the Zap Evolution, then you've made a really good choice. At number 5, we have the Valkyrie Evolution. I don't even know what to say about this evolution except that she's absolutely broken on defense. I mean, you can literally counter a 12 elixir beatdown push with just 4 elixir. Tanks are no match for the evolved Valkyrie. She destroys any support troops behind the tank by herself too. And well, swarms get wiped out before they can even deploy properly. A lot of pros consider the evolved Valkyrie to be the best evolution in Clash Royale at the moment, and well, they aren't wrong. She has a 15% use rate on ladder. 15! That's a lot! The fact that she's a great counter for so many toxic cards like the Witch, Royal Recruits, Goblin Giant, etc. makes her a must-have in your deck if you're a mid-ladder player. Whenever the meta becomes toxic, the evolved Valkyrie automatically becomes the most useful card in the game. I don't think she's going to receive any more nerfs now. If your deck requires a mini tank, consider using the evolved Valkyrie. You'll be really surprised to see how good she truly is on defense. At number 4, we have the Firecracker Evolution. My main reason for selecting the evolved Firecracker in this list is that players find her incredibly annoying and tough to counter. Arrows are like the only proper counter to her, and if your opponent doesn't have them, he's basically cooked. The Firecracker Evolution is obviously great on defense, as her burst damage can quickly shut down pushes, but her real value is seen on offense. Let's say you drop a Hog Rider on the bridge. Now, if your opponent plays something straight in the line of the tower, you can drop your evolved Firecracker on the bridge. She will get some insane damage on both the troops and the tower. This is a really frustrating play to defend against, because your opponent will probably need to predict your Firecracker every time in order to defend against her. If you're using the Firecracker Evolution, then your job is to protect her at all costs, because she's extremely fragile. But remember this, the longer she stays on the field, the better your chances of winning become. If you have a push coming your way, then try to cycle Firecrackers before you drop anything else. This way, you can get back to another one very quickly even if your opponent counters the first one. She's mostly used in Hog Rider decks, but you can use her in a lot of other decks too, like Royal Hog Cycle. At number 3, we have the Mega Knight Evolution. If the most hated card in Clash Royale history has an evolution, then you should probably buy it. Because there's a reason why it's so hated. Players can't seem to counter it. So many players tend to choke the game as soon as they see a Mega Knight. Is he really that tough to counter? Regular version? Not really. Evolved version? Oh, 100%! the Evolved Mega Knight is a horrible matchup for any deck that involves a tank. I mean, he literally keeps pushing troops backwards and keeps jumping on them like a maniac. He can destroy a whole beatdown push in seconds, and there's nothing much your opponent can do about it, really. There are multiple popular Mega Knight decks, and even in bad metas for the Mega Knight, at least one or two of them are always viable. The Evolved Mega Knight has an 11% use rate right now, which is quite a lot. Him being a one-cycle evolution means that every other Mega Knight you play will be evolved. The Mega Knight Evolution really cooks so many popular meta decks like Golem, Royal Hogs, or Giant. And even while defending against them, it's very easy to mess up placements. Trust me, it happens more often than you think. Maybe the card just has an unreal aura. At number 2, we have the Knight Evolution. The Evolved Knight is undoubtedly the greatest mini-tank in Clash Royale. He's received so many nerfs, and still he's found a way to remain viable. The tankiness he provides is really necessary for so many decks, like Graveyard, Goblin Drill, Expo, Hog Rider, Logbait, etc. I mean, look at that versatility. It's used in almost every popular deck. He's so good on defense that he can help you get positive elixir trades if you place him right. And on top of that, he can survive for a counter push too. Even the regular version of the Knight is so relative because it's got such great stats considering it only costs 3 elixir. Another special thing about the Knight Evolution is that it synergizes so well with almost any card. On defense, you can pair him with a ranged unit or a building to stop an entire push. He can tank for your win condition, like Hog Rider, Goblin Barrel, or Graveyard on offense too. In some cases, you can even use the Knight to punish your opponent in the opposite lane after they've played a heavy card. The Evolved Knight isn't just tanky, he can also deal insane damage if left ignored. Therefore, your opponent will always have to waste their elixir to defend against him. I don't think any other troop in the game is as reliable as the Knight. This makes him the best troop you can get the evolution for. At number 1, as the best evolution you can buy, we have the Evolved Cannon. I can't stress it enough how underrated this card is, perhaps because it's a defensive building and players will often consider evos which win them games better than evos which prevent them from losing games. The Cannon is a latter type of evolution, but don't sleep on it. It's the best defensive card in the game for a reason, and also the best pay-to-win evolution. But what are the pay-to-lose evolutions in Clash Royale? You see, there are 10, and to reveal them, click on this video.